You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
Howdy do, buckaroos. Welcome to Comics with My Kids, the official podcast for the comicscornerbox.blogspot.com, where you can get reviews for comics for the whole family. I'm your host, Matt D, and with me today is...
Logan D. And Melody D.
Well, today's episode, we are doing an advanced review. That's right, an advanced review. So, folks, this book, it'll be hitting the shelves on March 21st, 2023. The title of the book is Meesh the Bad Demon, written by Michelle Lam. Now, since this is an advanced copy, we're going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Okay, Logan, Melody, who wants to tell us about the story?
I will.
Okay, Melody, go ahead and tell us a little bit about Meesh the Bad Demon.
Meesh is a story about a demon girl who likes to watch shows about fairies. She's, one of the only demons in Mount Migma, where she lives. Magma. And she's actually the only one who's interested in fairies instead of demons. So she's considered the bad demon in the story because she likes fairies.
The fact that she likes fairies and stuff like that is what makes her a bad demon?
Not that. It's because the fact that in the story... something happens to the lava that they have resources on, so she has to get help because she thinks she's the only one left in Mount Migma that's a demon. Magma, that's a demon. Why isn't it called Migma? Anyways.
Well, it's called magma because magma is what's inside of a volcano and under the earth.
Yes.
Liquid hot magma comes up out of the volcano, and our demons are the ones that harvest it and make things out of the magma. So what can you tell me a little bit about Meesh? Actually, tell you what, let's slide it over to Logan with the question. Logan, what can you tell me about Meesh?
So Meesh is a 12-year-old girl, and she's a demon, and she's not good at her school. For example, in the lava molding class, she couldn't mold the lava because it's too hot for her to touch. Okay. And then,
what else makes her bad in school?
Well, it's especially in the acid spitting class, they have to think of something gross and then spit out their acid, and his suggestions were unicorns, sunshine, and flowers, and she likes all that stuff.
Oh, so that's not very gross for her.
Not flowers.
Rainbow flowers.
It's a similar principle. Alright, so our story basically revolves around this bad demon, and what kind of trouble does she get into?
So she, since something happened to the lava there, she has to find help. Well, the problem is, in order to find help, based on the show that she's seen, she wants to find help in Plumeria City. Plumeria City? How do you pronounce it? I don't know.
I believe it's Plumeria.
Plumeria City, where fairies are.
The land of the fairy.
Yes, land of the fairies. There's multiple fairies.
Well, I think the plural for fairies is fae, but that's okay. So she's going to the land of the fairies. How does she get there?
So, she was on an adventure, and because she was sad that, her grandma had, also been in Mount Migma when the magma was poisoned, she was the only one left. She was sad about that. But then she found talking trees.
Oh, okay.
And they had, I'm not going to say how, but they showed her the way to get to Plumeria City in the sky.
Oh, so Plumeria City's in the sky, huh?
Yes, because fairies can fly.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently the special event that was going on there was the Princess Fairy Nuna's birthday party was going on. So only fairies and special invited people could be invited into Plumeria City.
Oh, I gotcha.
And since the guard wouldn't let her in, she found roses, and she ended up fire breathing from sneezing from it. So she was able to get into Plumer City and make a disguise to make it look like she was a fairy. She had to put on a hat, though, to cover the horns. But, and she got into the place where the birthday party took place. And then a couple minutes on, when they were playing a party game, everyone discovered she was a demon.
How?
Because the hat fell off.
Okay, so hold on. Logan, how about you tell us how the hat fell off? How did they discover that she was a demon?
They were playing a game where they had to go back and forth and then sit on a pillow, and then she bumped into somebody and fell over and landed on a pillow. And anyone who's not on pillows called the Rotten Demon. And when she landed on the pillow, but her hat flew off.
So it sounds a little bit like musical chairs, but musical pillows, huh?
Yeah. But you have to go forward, backwards, onto there. No, it's just walk in circles to the music stops.
Well, sounds like a fun game to play at a birthday party. So what happens after she's discovered as a demon?
The queen comes and she realizes the fact that there's a demon at Nuna's birthday party, so she wants to get rid of the demon. Well, apparently, Meesh got this fang when she was in Mount Migma from her grandma. She found it, and it has a fang on it. She didn't know what it was for.
Wait, what was the thing?
The fang.
Oh, the fang?
Yes, I told you it was a fang.
Sorry.
A fang on a necklace.
Okay. I couldn't tell if you said fang or thing, so it's a fang? It's a thing?
That's stupid.
All right.
So then, she had started glowing, so she touched it. Well, she was able to fight back against the fairies, and because Princess Nuna wanted to help when her mother had opened the vortex, Nuna fell in with Meesh.
Oh my goodness.
And that's how Meesh actually became friends with the fairy, because they were looking for the fairy's ruby, because she can't fly without her ruby.
Oh.
So, because she wasn't able to be trained to fly when she was born, because there was a rip in her wing and her mother was queen. So, that doesn't matter. But,
It kind of does.
Then, when, Nuna realizes that, Meesh is just trying to help, they decide to work together as friends. And they find a city nearby there, and, Logan, do you want to tell us about what happened in that city they went to?
In that city, they found another one of the demons who escaped from the lava.
Well, before we dive too much into the demon that escaped, what happened at Mount Magma? I mean, we kind of glossed over it a little bit.
The lava was poisoned, and it started leaking out everywhere, and any demon who got touched by it turned to stone.
Okay, and that's why only
Them two made it
Meesh
out.
escaped, was because she was able to get out, and now we discover another demon. All right. So they find another demon. So who's this demon that they find?
The bully of the school.
Okay. Now, what did you find interesting about how the fairies treated Meesh and how the demons treated Meesh?
The fairies had treated Meesh like a monster because they didn't want to be near demons. Whereas the demons had also bullied her because she liked flowers and fairy things. But then when they came to that city, not only did they meet that the bully demon, they also met a girl that can transform into a wolf, and she was able to help them.
What do you call somebody that can transform into a wolf?
A werewolf.
Yeah, so she's a werewolf, huh?
Yes.
So, Logan, you look like you want to say something about the bully and how Meesh was treated. Why don't you go ahead and give us
I just want to
reasons?
rephrase it. So, the fairies treated Meesh like any other demon. They treated her as not enough like a fairy, and the demons treat her like she's not enough of a demon.
Yeah, good point.
So she's like in that middle class that no one cares about.
Now Nuna and Meesh and the bully and this werewolf girl. Do we know the name of the werewolf girl?
Chai.
Like the T?
Yes.
Spelled the same too.
Yeah?
That's the funniest part because she works at a cafe.
Oh, yeah. I think Michelle Lam was very clever in naming the barista.
Or she just likes tea.
Could be. All right. Well, Logan, is there anything that you want to talk about with the characters? Actually, do we know the bully's name?
Xavier.
Oh, Xavier.
It's Xavier.
Xavier?
Not Xavier. You don't pronounce the X as a yug.
It's
I don't even know what a Young's is.
All right.
Xavier, Mel.
X.
Xavier.
Xavier.
All right, so we've got Mish, we've got Xavier, we've got Chai, and we've got Nuna. How would you tell us a little bit about Nuna? Yeah.
Nuna's a fairy that had been born with a rip in her wings, which means doesn't know how to control herself to fly. She doesn't know how to fly very well because her mother didn't have too much time to teach her because of her duties around the castle. So her mother also gave her a ruby. She was a princess born with that mark, so the ruby could help her fly and give her powers, but mostly just flying.
Gotcha.
Because it was a piece of her mom's power.
Okay. Well, Logan, how about you tell us a little about Xavier and Chai?
So Xavier is like in the school. He was always just the best kid, and he always was bullying Mish because she was always just the bad demon.
All right. So Logan, tell us a little bit about Chai.
So Chai owns a cafe in the big city that's full of all the outcasts who aren't demons or fairies, and so she sells drinks and food.
Okay. Well, that sounds interesting. What do you think is the most interesting part of the story?
I like the fact that after they are going on in that city, they find a museum.
Okay.
And in there, they are looking for the ruby because they think they may have one in there from a long time ago.
Right.
And because they're looking for the ruby, Mish also finds the fact that she thinks fairies are responsible for poisoning the lava.
Yeah, so we learned a few things about the history. We learned about the layout of the land. Now that we've got a breakdown of the characters, I don't want to go too much further into the story because I don't want to give away the ending. But there is a really nice lesson to be learned in the story, and I think the biggest lesson you can learn in it is that you shouldn't judge someone just because of what they look like on the outside, but more or less what they do and how they act on the inside.
And another good moral of the story is staying true to yourself.
Exactly.
And beware black boogers.
So what was the funnest part of the book for you guys? What was the most fun? You go ahead and go ahead and go first, Logan. You tell us what your favorite part of the book was.
I liked the entirety of the book. I liked it so much that I actually started to reread it.
No, that's great.
For a second time in the same day.
That's great. It's definitely a good read. What about you, Maddie?
I don't really have a favorite part. I love everything about the story and everything in it. I don't know what I'm doing with my hand right now.
Okay. All right.
But I think it's a pretty cool story.
Yeah. I have to say my favorite part in the book is when we first learn about Mish and what her life is like in the school. I like some of the things that she was doing, like the horn sharpening class when she got stuck in the tree, or when she's trying to vomit acid or breathe fire. It was kind of neat seeing that she couldn't quite do those demon things that the rest of the kids could do, which kind of made her stand out. I thought that was a really great way to set her character up, and I thought it was really fun to learn some of the ways that she had to learn how to breathe fire or spit up acid, particularly.
And then the funny part, I know we're not supposed to go into detail, was when they had went to the acid vomiting class, the teacher had said, in order to use your acid for reflexes, you have to think of something disgusting, like unicorns, rainbows, or sunshine. And then Mish went, wait, what?
Yep, that was pretty funny.
There is something that I noticed that would help her during acid class. She bumped into a waiter, and he was holding a plate that had a ton of green tentacles on it and a ton of eyes, and her face turned green.
Ah.
So she thought about that again in acid spitting class.
All right, well, typically we would have a rating system of buy, borrow, or bust. But since this is an advanced copy, and I know it's such a great book, I'm going to go ahead and say that it's a buy, but I want a little more out of you guys. So why would you think that this is a buy book?
Because of the great moral that it tells.
Okay.
I liked the artwork. I thought how it was cool how it made certain things shiny. Like, you could tell like if everything went blank except for the shininess, like if you looked at the hair and then the face, the hair is a lot shinier.
How Michelle Lam drew the book to be more light and a lot of colorful stuff. So,
And it's very well written.
You know what's really neat about the book, though, buddy, and Melly, is if you notice, it's kind of laid out kind of like a cell phone almost. I mean, the story tends to work more vertically than, across 2 pages like it would do horizontally. And you know why that is?
Because books are like cell phones, but instead of paper.
Well, in a way, yeah. But Michelle Lam is real big into graphic arts for like media. So she does a lot of stuff on Instagram. So she's got a lot of that vertical look like it does for a cell phone. All right, guys. Well, is there anything else that you want to add to Meesh the Bad Demon?
No. I think we pretty much said everything.
No, we haven't. We left a lot of the book out, which is good.
I want to spoil it.
Yeah, we didn't want to spoil
We said everything we should.
Okay. Well, folks, that's all we have time for Meesh the Bad Demon. Come back next time when we'll be talking about another great kids comic. Also, don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Comics with My Kids Podcast / The Comics Corner Box. Drop us an email at comicswithmykidspodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at, somebody help me out with this,
Comics with Kids.
Not to mention our website, thecomicscornerbox.blogspot.com. Give us a rating or review at Apple Podcast,
Spotify,
Stitcher, or
Podchaser.
in particular, check out our URL on Podchaser at www.podchaser.com/comics with my kids. Your ratings help our show. And get your copy of Meesh the Bad Demon wherever books are sold, whether it's Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or your local bookseller on March 21st, 2023. And also, we should mention that we're having a raffle. Okay, Logan, you want to tell our audience a little bit about the raffle that we're having?
For the raffle, the prizes are you could get some stickers, or you could get a copy of a free manga sampler.
And how can they enter the raffle?
By emailing us at comicswithmykids@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to pick up your copy of Meesh the Bad Demon. Good night.
Good night. Good night.